The importance of the circuit is the relationships that Abraham Lincoln built. One of his overlooked skills was networking. The man must have had tremendous charisma, so people just gravitated to him.
Lincoln had this uncanny ability to win people over in general, and so when he interacts with lawyers and litigants, they all grow to love him.
He would go to these taverns. It was primarily a place to stay. Lincoln would regale him at night with the lawyers and whoever else could jam into the space. He would regale him with stories. And all that stuff about his fame as a storyteller is true. He was a marvelous storyteller.
And so by going from community to community, Lincoln is meeting people, he's hobnobbing, he's getting to know his fellow attorneys well, he's getting to know the judges well, and that's all going to be instrumental.
The people that Lincoln associated with on the circuit, probably the biggest name is David Davis.
David Davis comes to Bloomington in 1836, and he probably meets Lincoln at some point, but the first time he sees Lincoln, sparks do not fly, I'm sorry to say. They don't become close friends until Davis is writing the circuit with Lincoln all the time. Davis writes a letter, and Davis says, I really have no one who has the intelligence that I seek to make a pleasant companion. So he's very lonely for an intellectual equal. Lincoln was the man who came along who had this incredible intelligence combined with humor, and he was the one who fulfills this void in Davis's emotional life. And I think many scholars would say it was one of the closest friendships Lincoln had during this time period.
Another person that Lincoln associated with is Hill Lamon. Lamon was an attorney from Danville.
He was a great partier, a ladies' man, and sang bawdy songs and enjoyed the good sides of life. But Lincoln befriended him, and they tried cases together.
Lamon and Lincoln kind of entered into an informal legal partnership. So he had a formal partnership with William Herndon, but when he was traveling the circuit, he exclusively took cases with Hill Lamon in Danville, Champaign, the eastern counties on the circuit.
Lincoln kept that friendship into the White House and got some criticism. It became a controversy when the extremists in the party were trying to give Lincoln a hard time. Lamon's friendship was an issue, but that never stopped him. And he must have been a really likable guy. I don't know if I'd want to have been his law partner, but...
It's Lincoln's fellow attorneys that are central to him winning the Republican nomination for president in 1860. In 1860, it's a fellow attorney that convinces the Republican Party to hold their convention in Chicago, which is home ground for Abraham Lincoln. And it's David Davis who goes to Chicago and essentially works as Lincoln's campaign manager. So the circuit is central to Lincoln's rise to power.
To be on the road was to be not only in courtrooms, but the homes of political leaders. And when he wasn't talking to local political people, he was talking to newspaper editors. And newspaper editors were also political people. In the early days, they were pro-Whig or pro-Democrat. In the 50s, they were pro-Republican or pro-Democrat. Lincoln courted these newspaper men.
When Lincoln was running for president, you couldn't campaign for yourselves. You didn't go out and give speeches. You didn't debate your opponent. So you would basically have these surrogates who would go out and speak on your behalf. So Hill Lamon did that. David Davis did that. Leonard Swett did that. Henry Clay Whitney did that. So there were a bunch of these attorneys who spoke on behalf of Lincoln, saying what a great guy he was.
In a sense, I think it's fair to say, had he not had that circuit experience, had he not built a base in central Illinois, he would not have had a starting point for his political career. The circuit is his introduction into widening his field of acquaintanceships and supporters.
Those towns meant a lot to him, and the associations that he made, and with the lawyers, I call it Lincoln's ladder to the presidency, because those were the people that got him nominated.